Hello, everyone. Welcome to Walken News. Today is another video stream where we discuss the latest events of the working world, and we'll also cover your questions you have left previously and you will be asking in the comments during the stream. Before we dive right into the agenda, please let me know if you can hear me. Comment a plus or something so that I could make sure that you can hear me, actually. And then we are going to discuss the latest events and updates. I'll be waiting for your comments for a bit. Right. Just not to keep silent while you're commenting about the sound, I will start. If you're watching this for the first time, my name is Julia and I am Chief Marketing Officer at Walken. And here on these streams, we're discussing what's happening in Walken and why it's happening and what's going to happen next. I'm trying to give you some insights, some more information, some context for the latest changes and how they're going to reshape our journey. Right, I see some comments that you can hear me. It's great. So I'm sure you don't need me to tell you what the latest events are, and we're going to touch upon this week's update. It was 1.15, and it's a huge one, and it's been a while since we had such a massive update, and surely it raises some questions and it needs some attention. And surely I have seen your questions in Discord and have collected answers from the team. So going to convey them to you today. Also, before we start, please hit that subscribe button and press this sum up so that, well, it just feels good if you're liking these video streams because we're doing them for you and trying to make them as engaging and as insightful as possible. And your input is very valuable and your participation is crucial. So please comment and remember that all opinions are welcome. If you can formulate them decently, it's great. But if you cannot, I understand your feelings. Please try to make them sound decent at least. Right. I think we are good to go now. I'm going to start with the latest update. As I've said, this week has brought us the 1.15 update containing new tournaments, well, updated at least, athletic games changes, and some smaller stuff that is worth discussion anyway. So, following your questions on Discord, I have seen that the athletic games have been raising the most questions, and let's start with the athletic games. So what happened? With the latest update, only rainbow-eyed cathletes can participate in athletic games as team captains. That means that all the rest of cathletes can participate, but as team members only. So why this change? It's quite a long story, but let me try to express it at least. What we have been collecting recently from community and what the feedback we've been gathering suggested that athletic games have become something close to disappointment to the majority of those people who voiced their comments, at least. I can't say for everyone, but the comments we have received said that the sentiment toward the games have changed, and many of you have mentioned that the profits have dropped and so on. And the fact that Athletic Games heavily relied on reinvestment rates and were heavily dependent on prize pools, which were formed mostly by the reinvestment. And as the activity patterns, so to say, changed and people stopped to level up, to breed, these prize pools dropped too, which led to decrease in income for some players because many players still played with profit, especially if you have rank 10 or 9 or 8, I believe was good. But Athletic Games have been around for 6 months, maybe a bit more. And taking your feedback into account, the decision was made to change something. And things couldn't go on like that. And that's how the idea of introducing the rainbow cathletes arrived. Of course, there's something like infinity of ideas that could have been implemented and could have been done, but we decided to stop on the rainbow cathletes. And yeah, so this update is designed to reward our most active players more. And most active doesn't mean whales or doesn't mean someone who pays more than others. No, it means active players. And rainbow cathletes are part of this update. And the other part is redistribution of the prize pool, PvE prize pool, into PvP tournaments and into milestone raffle. Let's not forget about this. And apart from increasing the leaderboard, well, we have 6 leaderboards now, 3 for duos and 3 for Isle Clash. And that makes 1,200 winning places in total, which is huge. It's a huge part of active players, actually, who engage in PvP regularly. And also, we have 4 milestones now. The 4th one is completed by playing Isle Clash. Here is an important note. There is a miscommunication, so to say, in the app, which says that milestones are completed one by one. It's true for the first 3 milestones, but the 4th one is counted while you're working towards your the first, the second, and the 3rd milestone. If you play Isle Clash, those clashes are counted for the 4th milestone. So if you complete all the 3 jars and you have already played 15 clashes, your 4th milestone will be completed automatically after the 3rd one. Right. That was a side note, which I thought was important because some people got confused, and we will fix it in the app. It's already fixed on Gitbook, so I'm sorry about that. One more side note. I see your comments, but to make this whole thing a little bit easier to grasp and for me easier to express my thoughts, not to lose anything, I would like to just finish what I have to say, and then I will go over your comments. Okay? Good. So, this latest update has transformed Walken's landscape for some players, especially for those who was treating Athletic Games as kind of staking when you place your tickets, white tickets for Athletic Games, and sometime later, 2 days in our case, you just withdraw more tokens if you have done something to get more, because if your rank is around 4, then you're not likely to withdraw more than you put in. But athletic games are kind of dead end. We cannot evolve them. They are not scalable. They're not adaptive because of one simple thing. The prize pool is limited, and I sometimes I get a feeling that some people think that we have unlimited amount of tokens to be distributed, and they suggest mechanics kind of make a tournament for everyone and distribute like millions of tokens to everyone, let everyone win. This is not going to happen, and well, it would be great, but we don't have so much tokens to distribute, and we just have to choose how to channel them and how to make the whole process of playing Walken, of earning tokens, more enjoyable for the majority of players we have now. Which means that for some players, this will undoubtedly seem unfair or seem not worth it. It's sad, but it's true, and we are accepting this possibility, much as we don't like losing any single player. But the truth is that we cannot adjust a mechanics that will suit everyone and that everyone will like. Also, in this respect, I would like to say that, as I've said, I believe I've said this before, but the idea is to reward the most active players and to give them opportunities to earn in the game by playing. So, athletic games are for rainbow-eyed athletes, that's true, but these rainbow-eyed athletes are available to everyone. Anyone can get them by fusing. Yes, I know that some people have done fusions but didn't got their Catholic yet. And that's how probabilities work. There is a chance to get this Catholic. It's not guaranteed. Because if it was guaranteed, it will quickly become one more Catholic. You've seen tons of different Catholics on the marketplace, and this one will be just one of them. And yeah, so for some players it's quick, but for other players it takes several attempts to get these Catholics. I've seen an interesting idea about fusion is as a mechanics that replaces the level ups and breedings. I'll explain that in early days of Walken, level ups and breedings were kind of profitable, and they made more sense than they make today because Catholics were scarce and people were interested in getting more Catholic and in leveling them up and selling them in marketplace, which has brought us where we are today. But now, as many of you have pointed out, that level ups and breedings are not worth it in many cases. It's cheaper to get a Catholic from the marketplace. Why not consider fusion not as a burden but as an opportunity to get another Catholic, which might be better, and you actually can get a Catholic which is better than those you burn, but you also have 5% chance, and it's not a tiny chance. 5% is a lot, actually. In other games, similar mechanics offer like 0.1% for such things like rainbow something, valuable something, and yeah, you just play. It's part of the game. Again, I know that not everyone will appreciate it, but I'm happy that there are players who got the idea and who I'm sure have already gotten their rainbow-eyed Catholics and now enjoying a new Walken. And the great thing is that there is still over 1,000 rainbow Catholics left, and we have just launched fusion event with huge discounts on rare, epic, and legendary fusions. So if you've been waiting for the moment to give it a try, here's the moment. 5 days to give it a try. And I've seen in the database that people keep getting epic and legendary rainbow-eyed cathlets. So it's all real. Right. I think it's time to have a look at the comments. There is pretty a lot of them. Can you tell if you have a solution to reduce the cost and mint NFT? Thank you for the question. Unfortunately, I don't have another answer that is different to those, like, I don't know, 5 maybe that we have given already. Every stream we have this question, and it breaks my heart to tell you one of the same thing, that there is no plans to revise the cost of converting into NFT. Because if I paraphrase your question, it would sound like, do you have any plans to pay for our NFT conversions? Which is not. The project doesn't have this opportunity at the moment. If you've been here for a while, you remember those sweet times when we were giving out NFTs from Fusion, from the breeding, and so on. Then we had an opportunity to cover all this, but now times are different, and unfortunately we can't. So the answer to your question is no. And if you're interested in more details, we've discussed it during the previous gym, and also there is an article on Medium with a detailed answer to this question. This time I got my wallet address ready to send it to Julia to get rid of my gems. Well, you know, there are plenty of people who dream of having more gems because they always lack them to level up and to breed cathlets. So if you don't need your gems, just let's gift it to someone else. Or I can put a 0 instead of your gem count. I am reading as it is said by the author here. I was buy one NFT 3,000 Walken, but today rates 1,000 Walken per NFT. I'm not sure I'm getting this because it depends on NFT. NFTs are not limited to common cathlets, and there are cathlets that cost more and that have previously costed more. So need some more details. Why did you make the game unplayable for all players who don't want to pay again? Thank you for this question. Actually, I've said that all opinions are welcome and your opinion is not unpopular. Just 5 minutes ago, I was speaking about the nature of this update and that not everyone will appreciate this. Not everyone will decide to stay. But here's the journey Walken takes. We cannot remain a project that just gives out money because money are limited. And if in the early days of the old PvE era, it was pretty easy to get out more. You just bought another cathlet and you farmed tokens and everything was fine. It can't last forever, and we need to change things. We need to adapt. And for the project, those players who decide to engage in PvP and engage in athletic games in their new version are much valuable than tons of those players who just farmed the tokens 1 year ago and withdrawn them to Bybit straight away. And with these players who are willing to continue, who are willing to give it a try, we're going to continue this journey, and hopefully we'll try to make Walken as enjoyable as and as interesting as it could be, keeping the opportunities for like profit, but in another way. It will be more difficult. For sure, it is more difficult to play in PvP, and to get a rainbow-eyed Cathlet, you actually need to do something to get it. But that's the game now. I hope I've answered your question. Let's move on. I'm not sure. Sorry. You made us vote for CG, and now you make CG just for Rainbow Cathlets. It's not our choice. It was yours. Stop blaming the community. Absolutely. If I have blamed someone, I am sorry. I didn't intend it to. And Rainbow-eyed Cathlets are, well, you didn't vote for them. And I don't see how I can blame you for this. Sorry, not understand, but didn't want to offend anyone. Just delivering the point of view that we have and would like to share with you. Streams are good, but we miss written responses too. Well, actually, the idea was that we cover the questions during the stream, and written part is not necessary, but if it is not so, we can resume writing them, I think, but with a slight delay. Well, I will consider this. Thank you for your comment. All right. Moving on. Well, you now made it impossible to make any profit because PvP wasn't make any profit, and I played a lot PvP games. Well, you know, some players do make profit, and if you go to the clan website, you will see that there are players with nice win rate, which is not skyrocketing. It's not 90% and 40% of profit, no, but there is profit and it's scalable. So maybe there is something you're doing wrong, and if you are interested, if you are willing to give it a try, you can research the clan website. It's a great tool for this information and practical information. So this could be helpful. But the thing is also about expectations. In duels, you can have profit, but yes, but when we talk about huge profits like old PvE style, it's not the case for PvP, because the PvP is built in a way that entry tickets cover the prize pools. So if you've seen the latest updates, and I'm sure you have seen it, we have rebalanced the PvP reward tiers in in duos and in Isle Clash. And it's now 50-50. One player contributes 50% and the other player contributes 50%, and the reward is 100% given out to those who win. So well, it's clear that there isn't much opportunity to earn a lot, but we have tournaments, 1,200 winning places, and also remember about the milestone raffle. It will be 100 winners winning 5,000 Walkens in a week, which is not too little. I would say it's a nice reward, many players have earned less in athletic games, and well, I don't see that it's a bad opportunity to earn. It's just different, and the thing here is whether you like it, whether you accept it or not. When we were releasing this update, we understood that some players would not accept it, and for some players, this will be the end of Walken. But we also were sure that there are more players who will give it a try at least, and maybe enjoy this new version of Walken. Can you stop changing the rules every week? It's unproductive. I believe we haven't changed the rules every week. For the, well, globally, the rules have been changed maybe 3 times. One time was when we introduced athletic games. The next time was this week. And previously, if you consider this a change, the PvP duels were introduced, which was some change to the landscape. And giving credit to special love for fusion, maybe the introduction of fusion is rank criterion is also notable. But thank you for sharing. We need to go on, and we need to keep the game alive, so to say, and sometimes changes are necessary. We can't just leave things as they are, and actually there are 2 different opinions on that. Some players say that there is too many updates. Some players get bored and say that it's all the same story about Walken. I'm tired, and well, we're trying to find the middle ground between changing things too often and leaving them as they are and losing the momentum and changing something when it's too late. It's kind of complicated. All right. Most active means pay 50k Walkens for Rainbow Cat. No, it doesn't. If you choose to buy them from the market, then the prices are set by other players willing to sell them. But you can fuse a Cathlet for yourselves, and hopefully it will be cheaper. But no one can tell for sure how many fusions you need to complete before you finally get that rainbow-eyed Cathlets. Okay. How about all the bugs on clashes? About the bugs on clashes. We've been following your feedback for quite a while, and there are bugs on our clash that unfortunately make it almost unplayable, and we were focused on this update just released this week previously, but from today and on, the team are investigating Isle Clash to fix those bugs that are already here before we make Isle Clash better and before we upgrade this mechanic to make it more appealing to you. So hopefully we are able to release this update with fixes as soon as possible. I can't say the terms because if we fail to meet the deadlines, it would mean that I kind of said a lie, and I don't want to misinform anyone, but just be sure that we are working on them, and all the bugs that are present in Isle Clash will be eliminated, and as soon as possible. Then just let's speak about planning. Then once we fix the bugs, we are going to improve Isle Clash. In what way hasn't been decided yet. It might be the introduction of Masberry's plants using the, I think it's called Earth gene in the Isles, so that the Isles could actually plant you some berries. And it also might be connected with special cathlets that are allocated for Isle Clash and don't consume berries for the booster. So there are several options what to do, and we are going to evaluate them all and let you know about what's going to happen with Isles. But one thing for sure, that this mechanic needs some updates and it needs refinement, and we are going to give it. Next, there are item sets. We have teased them several times already, but didn't have time to get round to doing them. But it's the next thing in the list after Isle Clashes. So if you remember, the Lucky Pause set already works, but you just don't see it because there is no animation in duels. And there is another set that we're going to introduce. It's the set from Daily Quest. It's called Daily Triumphs, I believe. The B style. And when we introduced these features officially, there's going to be some kind of animation or some kind of effects in duels that will help you see that the effects actually happen. So this thing is the next also, and then we'll see. There is an important thing about wardrobe, to introduce some kind of sorting or filtering to facilitate easier search and navigation in your wardrobe. But we'll see whether it's more important than a cathlet win rate. There's one more suggestion from Discord that keeps receiving a lot of attention from the community. And we think we are going to do it pretty soon. But again, I can't be specific about the terms. But yet, one thing for sure is that we see the need from you, that you continue to ask about it, and it's not a big deal to make it, but just requires some time and some server storage. But if you think it's useful, then you'll have it. We just need some time to complete it. Thank you for correcting me. It's called land. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. After suggesting steps to increase in importance, the opposite happened. Is the team aware of the bug then PvP limit downgraded from 20k to 10k? This change alone is demotivating me. Thank you very much for directing my attention to this. I think that we are not quite aware of that, and I will ask the team to check it. And if it's so, we'll fix it back, because there wasn't any idea to downgrade it for sure. And if it happened, it is a bug for sure, and it needed to be eliminated. Just let me put it down right now so that I wouldn't forget. Why did you promote in your apps then that the average Walken players, I repeat, the average Walken players earn $23 a day? Very misleading, don't you think? I have the picture here as a proof. No need for the picture, I know what you're talking about. Probably the information is some kind of outdated, or, well, average players are not something that you can just go around the community and see. Well, you can have your poll, but we have bigger data. And at that time when these screens were completed, it was the truth, which doesn't mean that it hasn't changed now due to token price fluctuations or mechanic changes, or players change also. Some players leave the project, some players come and they're not that well off than those players who left. So yeah, we'll check. Thank you. Thank you. I can follow up with this if there will be any confusion about the actual values. Actually, if you could send us in Discord or somewhere, or if you have done it already, just an example maybe showing what is wrong, I would be very grateful to you, and this would speed up the process of investigation greatly. Sorry, well, unfortunately, I'm not aware of every bug that it might be around, or all my day will be consumed only in this bug sorting, which is not my primarily job. So that's why we're very grateful for your input, because there are many players and each of you can contribute by reporting a bug, and it's great. So thank you very much for being our eyes and helping us find more bugs than we could. Well, I have done a duel actually, and I believe that there were people with more than 10k step, but let's do it. Okay. Just give me some time. I will finish one. Actually, I speed up my duel, so possibly I've just missed it somehow. Yeah, I see a person with 10k steps. But possibly it's just a bug with visual part. Well, I wouldn't guess. I just report it to the team and they will see. Thank you once again. Let's do one more and see whether the situation improved, but looks like there is something. Well, 9,700 steps. Well, all right, let us see. I will report it and quality assurance team will check. Thank you. Okay. So I think we have covered the update, and also I'm monitoring your question. Speaking of the questions you sent prior to this stream on Discord, there is one voicing the concern that rainbow cathletes will dramatically affect the win rates of other players in duos with their double rate laser pen. I've done my homework and I have asked our data analytics to give me some numbers, and the numbers are that today, well, actually yesterday, because for today the data isn't complete yet and we can't operate it. Today there was over 170,000 duos completed, and out of these duos only less than 2% involved a rainbow-eyed cathlet. This less than 2% is only the duos when one cathlet is rainbow-eyed and the other is not, because there are duos when two rainbow cathlets meet, but they're not counted in this. So less than 2% doesn't look like a dramatic influence, but if you are concerned about it, not a problem. We will make some kind of report about the rainbow-eyed cathletes, about their performance in PvP, their winning rate maybe, and post it on our communities. And should we found some like, I don't know how to, well, something dangerous, something hugely unfair pattern in this while preparing this analytics, certainly we'll take measures. But so far, judging by the numbers, not by impressions or feelings of those players who meet these cathletes, nothing dramatic is happening. Well, rainbow-eyed cathletes are not that easy to get, and when you get it, of course, you want something to reward your efforts, and they need to have something special about them to be tempting, to be, well, desirable. So when creating this effect in duos, we've tried many options actually, from giving these cathletes only the discipline they are focused on, their stronger discipline, to this double laser debuff, which keeps the element of randomness. And the element of randomness actually doesn't always play against you. I'm sure if you are an active duelist, so to say, you've seen many cases when this laser actually helped you win. Things might be different in the first reward tier, when all cathletes are more or less equal and there isn't a dramatic gap between them. So maybe your laser pen hits you badly more often. But in general, laser pen is an element of randomness as well as the energy drink, and they are designed to balance things. So far, there isn't any evidence that rainbow-eyed cathletes damage this balance badly and they become imbalanced by themselves. But we are keeping a close eye on them, and should things change and should the situation change, we'll take measures. So thank you once again for helping us just look at the right things in the right direction and never miss anything that should be attended. It's greatly valued. Okay. For sure, the thing is in duos with the steps wasn't intended. Well, at least I'm not aware of that. And it's highly unlikely that it was intended, and I wasn't aware of that prior to this stream. So we'll investigate it. About marketing, I might be mistaken, but the idea of marketing doesn't mean that we should scream about it everywhere. Marketing can be different, and we're trying some things constantly. We're constantly looking for some good channel for some activity, for partnerships. It has never stopped, and the fact that we are not reporting every move to you guys in community doesn't mean that marketing is dead. And I actually, well, I don't even know how to answer this, because marketing isn't meant to be it isn't meant to be promoted in the community. Our every step, we wasn't going to do that, and we are not going to do that. We're just looking for the best ways in the meantime, like on the background. And if you follow our Twitter, and if you tried searching by the token or the project mentions, you would see that there's been pretty many of them recently. By the end of the year and in January also, in February this continued, and we are not going to stop. So, but we are also not going to report it directly, not going to like say that we have cooperated with this guy or that guy, just doing our job and working towards a higher price, more players coming up, and yeah. Thank you for mentioning this, actually. I already know that data. It's pretty meaningless. The number of rainbows will increase, and once people living spend their last berries, the number will increase drastically. That's one of the possible scenarios, but still, we are guided by the data, not by someone's ideas or predictions about the future. Because, well, every time we release something big, there are comments that that's the final days of the project and everyone is leaving. And if we were guided by those comments, the project would have been dead long ago. So I'm not saying that nothing is going to be done. I'm not saying that we just decided to act as we act now, and well, no matter the outcome, no matter the results, no matter the sentiment, but let's just wait a bit. There is only actually I haven't checked it quite recently, but when I did check, it was a little over 300 rainbow cats. And well, let's wait till their number will rise, and then we'll do the research and we'll analyze the data. And if anything needed to be done, we'll just tackle the issue when it is here. We'll not try to guess what's going to happen. Though some predictions are done, and those predictions that have been done by the game designers led to this decision to be made. As the number of rainbows is still on the rise, it should be. Obviously, it will. Following the first Cathletic Games that concluded just yesterday, the chests were pretty good, and obviously people would want to have a Cathlet that can earn them that much tokens. So I don't see why they shouldn't be on the rise. And I also still don't see the issue with their number. Yes, they have double laser pen, but if you believe me, I would say that 90% of those Cathlets, or maybe 87 something changed, are commons, not commons, but uncommons, and rares. They have limited number of energy, and this energy is not that quickly restored. So even if there are Cathlets that play against you, they are limited by the energy units. And we'll investigate it. Actually, it's pretty interesting whether players choose to keep these rainbow Cathlets low in the leagues, or whether they choose to level them up. But judging by the Cathletic Games teams, the majority of rainbow Cathlets are on the final league. Everyone wants to compete in Cathletic Games first, where rewards are much higher than you can get in PvP. So there is no point to remain in first reward tier of League 4 and to fight for those tokens with players who choose these reward tiers for their duels. So again, let us prepare some kind of report. Just you can comment what you would like to see, and let's see on the data. If you choose not to trust the data we provide, it's up to you. But I don't have much to say to your personal ideas of how it works and your personal speculations of how things are, because, well, it's kind of hard to have a dialogue based on perceptions and assumptions rather than data. You never be transparent with us. You wouldn't want that. What is transparent with you? I would be very grateful if we could tell, because to my mind, Walken is a very transparent project. First of all, we are largely on the blockchain. Everything that happens is on the blockchain. There are some resources, not one resource, that analyze the blockchain activities. They have our Fusion wallets, our marketplace wallet, it's one. Well, the guys know where to look at, and they have answers they want to get. And they also give these answers to those who are willing to look for them. But it's pretty hard to talk about transparency without understanding what you mean by it. And well, in our idea of transparency, we're pretty transparent with you. So please give me some clue to what you mean. Look at daily active players. I do every day, and nothing dramatic happens. This number fluctuates daily, just a bit, and these fluctuations are absolutely normal. There is no dramatic decrease, as much as you would like to believe in it. If you do, I don't know, but just judging from the general sentiment of your comments during the stream, nothing happens. So far, at least. Well, of course, things may change at any moment, but so far, the effect of this week's update is good. We don't have a huge drop in daily active players, and we have a rise in fusions, obviously. And we also have a rise in level ups, because those who have rainbow-eyed cathletes, they would like them to be in the highest league, as I have said. So things are pretty normal now. How would people know chests were pretty good if you don't even bother to share them? That's actually a nice suggestion. If you go to Cathletic Games, you have links there, and the rewards are specified. I understand that up to is not enough to make financial decisions. So possibly we really need to kind of publish this data in communities. We'll consider this actually, is if anyone is interested. But I haven't seen a question. Well, I don't say that I monitor every question every minute, but I haven't seen it, and my teammates haven't asked about the Athletic Games chest. But that's an interesting suggestion. I will look into it after the stream. Thank you. You can say what you want, but winning rate dropped radically. Well, I can't say for your win rate. It can drop because it's not guaranteed. It's part of randomness. You get matched with different opponents. There are no bots. Remember those good old days of PvE when everyone was certain that we decreased their win rate, that we send bots and these things? Nothing changed when PvE was cancelled and we have duels now. Now the problem is that winning rate drops because of some actions from our side. Well, if you believe me, well, you can choose whether to believe me or not, but I'm just telling how it works. In duos, you are matched with online players and their cathletes, which means that one day you can get matched with stronger rivals. One day you can get matched with other rivals. One day you can be lucky and get the discipline you need, and the other day you may not. These are very like unstable things, and if your win rate drops one day, it doesn't mean that the game is over for you. It can rise the day after tomorrow, for example, or it can rise next week. Yeah. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because many players have developed their strategies which are quite successful. Again, you can visit the clan website and have a look at those top players that are there at their cathletes. We have published this information for these purposes as well, because many players were interested in how to play better. So yeah, it is possible to research and find your answers. But one thing to stress is that your win rate isn't regulated by us by in any means. It's completely, well, not to say random, but it is. It results from the duels you have at the moment, and it can be different. Any update about Rana and blocks? Thank you for reminding this. I'm kind of got lost in athletic games and duels. Yes, there is an update about blocks. We are getting down to investigating this bug that prevented players from getting their rewards. And about runner, yeah, I remember those chests that were replaced by some magic. Also in progress. We haven't yet solved it, but as the 1.15 update is out, we have time to focus on next things, which will be Walken blocks and runner. And also, there is going to be a premium for Walken blocks for those who enjoy playing without having to watch all those ads. Are going to be released pretty soon, but again, can't be specific about the dates. So, yeah. And in general, we would like to focus more on the Q's games and to finally introduce that NFT utility, which has been planned for a very long time, and we absolutely can't reach to it because so many things to be built, and sometimes some things get broken and also require attention and takes the resources, the team, the depths to deal with them. So yeah, one thing for sure is that the Q's games are not going to be forgotten, and we're going to make your involvement in them more rewarding than it was, but still needs some time. And thank you very much for your patience and for your engagement in the Q's games. It means a lot. A rental system for rainbow cathletes sounds interesting, but like for any other feature, everything can be done. Well, there are millions of ideas that can be implemented, but it is a good idea to think why, and also to think how well how many players would benefit out of it. Will it be a feature that's for many players, or will it be a feature just for some players? Because we don't have time and resources to build features that serve for some unknown purposes or would benefit just a tiny proportion of players. So if you have a kind of concept, why to do it, just drop it on our Discord in the channel for suggestions and ideas, and we'll cover it. And if other players will like it, we will discuss it next time, possibly in written form, as I said in the beginning of the stream. So, thank you very much for your participation today. It's been my pleasure to be here with you, to have all your comments, different kinds of comments. And thank you for voicing your opinion. I appreciate it anyway. Well, it's easy to read some favorable comments, but I appreciate true feelings and true opinions of players, and also the ability to discuss it, even if the point of view is different from mine. And yeah, so thank you very much. If you have some questions left, please comment them, and we'll cover them in the communities. Also, there's going to be a written recap of this video for those who missed, or for those who maybe had difficulty following up because of my possibly not perfect English. So yeah, it was a great hour. Thank you for joining today, and see you in 2 weeks' time. Have a great evening.